Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for the invite, Drunk Sports. Thank you so much for inviting me to the show.
No doubt, appreciate it. With a co-host over there. Um, Everybody check out King Amin on the Boxing Voice. You know what I'm saying? He's on there sometimes 5-6 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Dropping his gems, sparring with Ness and all them dudes. Recently Canelo Alvarez gave an interview, right? And I don't speak Spanish. I can't understand Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But Ness and them translated it. I think you have pretty a little bit more of a hold on what that is. Basically, it sounds like he's not fucking with, and lack of a more articulate way to say it, he's not fucking with a Crawford. Doesn't seem like he's fucking with Charlo.
Yep.
And it looks like possibly we might be getting to Benavidez. Can you explain that little bit about the interview and why Ness and you guys seem to deduce that?
So, and it's funny because there's lots of people that were trying to break this down, and so it's different. I don't want to say different translations, but let's say different interpretations. But the clear what we understand is Crawford is not an option, which is why I mentioned even if the Turkey Al-Sheikh is involved, it would take his money to make that Crawford fight, because as Canelo said, it's all the risk for him. If he loses, then it's, hey, I brought this guy up and you beat him. What did you get out of that? Nothing. So what? He was undisputed. He was a smaller
Even though
guy.
when I go up, I don't get
the
that
credit
same
for
love.
it.
Yeah, go ahead, my bad.
So no, but that's that point. Charlo, it don't make sense for the fight. He already beat his brother. He's not interested in that. Now, the funny thing is you're getting some reports that are saying Canelo said we're not getting Benavidez in 2024. I don't know if that means we're not getting Benavidez at all, because my concern is how long we're going to ask David to hang around at 168.
Right.
But it's okay, we're not getting him in 2024 because, as per part of the translation, Canelo said he's got at least another 5 years left in boxing. So if you put that together, perhaps he's suggesting maybe Munguia's in play, right? And then when he said another statement he alluded to, but this was not from the translation. This was in an interview prior to the translation, because there's two interviews. There's one where Eddie Reynoso mentioned Canelo was going to be fighting an American. This was before this Canelo interview that was translated and broken down, where he ruled out Crawford and ruled out Benavidez this year. So in this in the Reynoso interview, it was initially stated Canelo's going to fight an American. That was supposed to be, I guess, seen as some sort of slight towards Benavidez,
right?
Because say like Benavidez ain't really Mexican and all of that, but
the whole De La Hoya, Chavez,
the whole De La Hoya. But you're also hearing, that Canelo's sitting around and waiting to see if the motherfucker on the shirt, Berlanga. This is how we end up here, So
where's Brooklyn at?
You know how I feel about.
I know how you feel. 2 words, Isaiah Pacheco. Well, let's go.
Yo, but shout out to Edgar Berlanga. It's tough love. It's tough love on these streets,
love.
baby.
No doubt.
And if he walks his way into the Canelo fight somehow, I don't see how that happens though, because that may be him on his way out from PBC. Or at that point, does PBC and Matchroom? I don't want to throw the business and mess it up, but I just don't see how these fights are happening. So from my perspective is, as far as the information Canelo is relaying, I still don't think fights that we're going to be necessarily satisfied with from him. I can accept the Munguia fight. Hell, he didn't mention David Morrell at all. He ain't say I'm fighting, Scarface. He ain't say I'm fighting somebody from Cuba. Nothing. He's not even acknowledging David Morrell at 68. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really still can't get a beat on it, other than the fact that he got us talking about what he's doing.
What Amin said, I wouldn't mention Morrell either. Morrell feels like career suicide to any of these dudes right now. Benavidez, who I think will give him a great fight, could win the fight, probably doesn't want that type of test. And honestly, if Benavidez is taking over, because now you got the pay-per-view, fight him right now. Because if you two fight right now, we paying because we want to know. We want to see it. So if you're smart, though, you say no because he's a creature. And you're probably going to see him when you move up to light heavyweight anyway, because he can't stay there forever neither. He big as a house, too. And what Canelo needs to do right now is, if you fight Benavidez, is small. It's giving the people what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, if you lose, we're okay with it because they love Canelo when he comes back from adversity. You lost to Floyd. We wanted to see how you looked after adversity.
Mm-hmm.
You lost to Bivol. We wanted to see what you would do after adversity. So you command the people's eye. So taking a loss at this point in time in your career is not a big deal. The thing for me, though, Boo Boo was outboxing him. You're not as slick as Boo Boo, but you can move, and you have a different power than Boo Boo carries at this weight. So Benavidez is hittable. We seen Benavidez hurt by Plant, and we seen him hurt by Andre at the end of I think the third. So let's see. Can I put your foot on the gas, man? Put your foot on the gas.
You think he was hurt, or he's just outboxed? Yeah, okay.
Andre hit him, and he did like this. And if you ever, I know you're boxed before. If you've been hit, and you go like this. Because you're thinking about what just hit you.
Yeah.
Like, and you ever been hit so hard that weird sound go off in your ear and they go,
the flash too. That flash goes off. Yeah. That's a true thing. The flash goes off.
Yeah. I call it a deer kick because you be frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you pop out of it like, all right, we good. At the end of that round, and I said, oh, Andre could do this. And then in the fourth, he looked like he was so tired from doing it because carrying that weight was so new to him. I was like, man, this is going to be rough. It's going to be rough late. So, Canelo, let's see, man. Let's see what's up, B.
I think Canelo, I believe it when I see it. It's hard to say, yo. It makes sense the way Nessa then broke it down. It does make sense. Maybe sense mixed with a little bit of hopeful or wishful thinking. I think sometimes I'm rough on Canelo, but I will say this: like he said that I'll fight Benavidez, and then they'll say, "Well, who are the next guy you're gonna fight?" You're not gonna be able. He's not gonna be able to ever satisfy anybody. But that's the price you pay when you're at the top, man. That's just what it is. You're making the big super bags and all that. You know what I mean? I think it's quite possible, man. I think it's gonna. He said it's not gonna be. It's gonna be an American, right? So. It's not, if it's not Crawford and it's not Charlo, like what other American could it possibly be? Right? You know what I mean? Like, so I think we're gonna get Benavidez, Canelo, man. And listen, win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna get off Canelo's neck. You know what I'm saying? Because he's earned it. The back half of his career, he's been strategic on the fights he has made. You know what I mean? I know the whole I want greatness and all that, and trying to fight Macabo. That shit ain't greatness. That's a low key duck. You know what I mean? Just a nice way to put it.
And I'll say this: he's scheduled, or he wants to fight in May. Right? Those are the Canelo dates. He's taking over those dates. If he fights in May,
May 3rd.
May 3rd. All right. If he fights whoever he fights, as long as they know Charlo, suppose he gives us Munguia, right? That should give him and them and whoever else enough time. I don't know what Benavidez is going to do in the meantime, but that should give them enough time for Benavidez and Canelo in September. However, he keeps saying, remember, not just I'm fighting an American, I'm not fighting Benavidez in 2024. So that's the part that got me conflicted to where I want to give him credit, and I don't want to criticize him in a way that he seems to be aware of. What the fuck else you gonna do in September, my nigga? Like that's why I'm confused.
And he said he wants to fight 3 times. I think